Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to do a really quick video based on some information that you are probably aware of now. BOOX is launching the newest next generation of the Go 10.3. And I've got an article here that I've got drafted, and this video will be coming out once the embargo lifts. So you'll be able to hear this information as soon as I could possibly make it available. Now, a little bit about embargoing and what that means. The embargo is just on information, so they don't want you to get ahead of the product launch. There are no requirements that have been placed on either my article or the video that I'm making now as to what I have to say. They do give you information. They give you these images that you see here. They give you different information about the product, about what the specifications are, what they think the vision for that product is, and what they think the use cases are. But they do not mandate any of that be used specifically in my communication or my content. So again, it's all informational. As you all know, I don't do sponsored content around e-ink. I've never done any sponsored content actually, but I don't do it around e-ink specifically because my goal is to give you the best information possible. But all of that said, I am going to get a review unit. I've been told by BOOX that it will be sent out as soon as they can. I will be getting the Lumi version of the 10.3. So there are two versions to this. The one pictured here is the Lumi, and I do suggest you go to this blog article for a much more in-depth dive than what I'm going to do here. It's very much the same device. So what people have been asking for a long time is a 10.3 with a front light. Well, they are upgrading the 10.3 and changing the 10.3, and they're also having a version that includes that front light. So I think that is going to be very welcome to a lot of you. Now, again, I'm not going to read through all of this. As you can see, I go through in detail. I do quote some things from the BOOX material, but I'm very clear and specific about when I do that. And for the most part, this article is about my thoughts, my observations. Of course, I don't have the unit in hand yet, so I can't give you any real hands-on tactile stuff at this point. But as soon as I do, you'll be the first to know. But what I can tell you is there are some fairly significant changes. So here's kind of the quick version of that. They name the octa-core processor in this one, and they say it's a Qualcomm. They didn't say that in the previous version of the 10.3, which manufacturer it was from, but it was still an octa-core processor. I didn't realize this, but the previous 10.3 is an HD Carta screen, not a 1200. So that was a surprise to me. And they've gone with the 1200 here. I'm not sure if that's because of the ghosting issues you've seen in some of the Carta 1300 panels, but it'll be an interesting comparison. Still 300 PPI resolution. They've made the decision to go away from Wacom EMR on this. So they are going with the InkSense stylus, which actually is the one that comes with the Palma 2 Pro. So it'll be really interesting to see how that functions on the 10.3. And that also means you're going to have to use that on that device, and you can't have that cross compatibility with previous versions. There's also the upgrade to Bluetooth, but the bigger upgrade is Android 15. So this is coming not with the latest version of Android, but with a much newer version. And I think that's going to be welcome again for that longevity of support and things that people are wanting to see out of this device. They've changed up the document types. They're adding Adobe Digital Rights Management as a supported file type. So that should really help with those DRM protected files and formats to be able to read those in NeoReader. and it kind of levels the playing field a little bit between NeoReader and Kindle and some of these other reading apps because of the fact that NeoReader is very powerful. I mentioned that in another video I did recently. And they're also introducing colors, which I think is kind of neat. So they're introducing this pale blue option, and I just think that's kind of a welcome change to the way that they're doing some things. So really interesting. Now here you can see a picture of it with the front light on. It does have dual front lights. So it's got the cold and warm temperature lights. And then, of course, I go through this huge comparison and I highlight all of the differences between the devices and the original 10.3. There's not near as many as you think there would be. The biggest is going to be that Android version, and there's going to be that front light and the active pen, obviously. Take a look at that when you get a chance, and then I go through some conclusions and final thoughts and just kind of what I've covered here as far as those particular components. But I'll drop this video here as well for those who may see the article first. And, feel free, reach out with questions, put comments down in the video below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know when I get the device, what you want me to do on it first. What are things you're really interested in seeing? And what do you think about the strategy that BOOX seems to be going with this particular device? But anyway, thank you all so much for hanging in there and being with me on this little short video to talk about this exciting news, and keep on moving forward, and I will talk to you soon.